Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jake Klein Connect here, and head coach Steve Jennings. The first Wings Weekly of the 2022 season. And Coach, I know you got a chance to talk with Megan a little bit last week with the Central Intelligence Show. We'll kind of go over some of that too, because maybe not everybody saw that. But obviously, you have been with the Wings for a long time. Director of Player Personnel, and you've been with Scott Langer for many, many years. So you're no stranger to the program and to the team as a whole, and certainly to a lot of these players too. So that obviously it's got to be an advantage or help you a little bit, I would think, as a first-year coach or head coach anyway.
For sure, right? Because we're not learning each other. I know most of these guys are recruited, the majority of them, and so because of that, I walk into the room and they know exactly who I am, and we can start going there. So it's definitely speeded up our team building process this year.
Well, excellent. Before we get into the team as a whole, I wanted to talk a little bit about your personal life, your family. I mean, you have talk to them, let people know a little about you. I know you had a son that played in the Central Division and played for Minot, right?
Correct. Yep. He played for Scott in Topeka, and then got traded to Minot. Played half the year in Minot, and then moved on to the USHL. I have a daughter. She's 22. So my son Matt's 24. He's at St. Thomas this year. He transferred from Ohio State. My daughter is a music therapy major. She goes to Georgia College. They're 2 years apart, 24 and 22 years old. And then my wife is in the process. She's actually arriving in Aberdeen today.
Oh, well, excellent. Hopefully she is greeted with a warm welcome for sure. Let's just jump into the hockey stuff first. Obviously, the preseason got underway, so to speak, obviously up in the USHL or against the Fargo Force there midweek, but then against the first time that you get a chance to see the North Iowa Bulls down in Mason City, Iowa. You split with them over the course of the weekend. As a coaching staff overall, what did you think of your team's performance?
I think we were happy, Jay, with the speed of the game. I thought we came out pretty well. I think on Friday that the game day travel kind of got to us a bit. But I think we really like the speed that the boys are playing with, and the willingness and want to make some plays. And I think it also showed us some opportunities we have for improvement. And those are things that we'll continue to work on here. But Zach and I sat down and watched games and tried to break it down. I think we could have done a little bit of a better job managing the puck in both games, especially in the second half of both games, and that's part of building a team and getting everyone used to playing with each other and getting out of habits that maybe they had from prior teams and what things they could get away with in a different spot here.
Right. Okay. Especially teams-wise, you liking the way that's trending or the improvement that you're seeing and so on?
I think we're moving in the right direction, right? This part of the year is really difficult, trying to figure out who are the players, who are the guys who fit well together on both sides, on the PK and the power play, and trying to get the rotations right, and again break some of the habits that people have had, and especially with the younger players, a lot of them have worked with some coaches who are very particular about how they do things, and here we're trying to get maybe some different reads and get them out of the old habits and also a little bit comfortable taking some chances that we want them to take.
Sure. Okay. All right, well, we'll get to the showcase because that's coming up in just a little bit here. How many, as a group, how many guys did you bring in? I know in years past there's been in the 30s, other times it's 28 or whatever. I mean, do you feel like you got a good group of guys, and how's that process of kind of narrowing down who's going to be on this team and who isn't? How's that going?
It's going good. So we have 9 returners who came in with us. A few guys still up in the USHL waiting to see if they'll come back. And, at this point in the year, you got a plan for them not to come back. And if they do, they do. Mm-hmm. We brought 28 kids into town, so we brought 8 defensemen and then 2 goalies, and the rest are forward. So we've had a really good group here. We're actually getting to the point where we can start to make some decisions about kids, and we've actually done that just today. We've made our first couple of decisions there, which are never easy to do. It's always disappointing for the kids, and it's challenging for us as a staff, but it's also right for us as a team in terms of how we try to build and try to also be fair to those guys as players, right? So it's been good, and the team building has been really strong since we've gone here. Our preseason has been fast. We got here and we've had to just work very fast.
Yep. But sometimes, having that tempo and that pace, that it kind of almost instills a little bit of a sense of urgency. It can kind of don't know, get the juices flowing, so to speak, rather than a slower tempo. Or I should say a slower schedule maybe is a better way to put that. But it's funny you bring that up, because that was going to be my next question, was team building, and if there's any activities or anything that you guys have been able to do as a group that does kind of amp up the family atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it. We've had a little bit. We've had to do 2-a-days pretty much every day. Yesterday was our first off day since we got here. But we have been able to get out in the community and do some things. So we went to the Kellen Cares Carnival, and that was a really good team building opportunity. Prior to that, we were down at the park here doing some team building on the beach, and then we had a billet family appreciation night over here at the park, and did the kids did the go-karts with their billet families, and we had a good meeting with them. So we've had a little bit of time to get ramped up and into the community. We'll do more of that when we get back from Blaine.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go on to, one more question before we go on to Blaine. How, as you mentioned, one day off, and it's been a quick preseason with camps and everything, and then, of course, with the trip to Fargo and down to Mason City. Have you been able to get out of the preseason and camps pretty healthy overall?
So far, yeah. So we're blessed with that. I'm happy. Yeah, knock on wood. Yeah, for sure. Right. So we've been able to get out of that without really having. We got one player dealing with an injury, but otherwise we've been fortunate so far.
Good. All right. Well, we mentioned it, Blaine. The showcase coming up. Bus takes off on Tuesday, and first Johnstown, but four games, 4 different teams. That always is a challenge. And as far as preparation goes and so on, you've got a limited amount of time to be able to look at film and all those kinds of things from going from one team to the next. Is it more about preparing for the team you're playing, or more about focusing on what you can do as a unit, because you don't have a whole lot of time?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's really about us preparing to be the best version of us we can be, and then add in a little flavor with the video and the watching we can do with the teams as we get up there, right? So the one thing, it's our preseason games were broadcast, not everyone's were, so our ability to get video and see what people are doing, it's a little bit tough right now. Yep. So we're a little bit working on assumptions. We have 2 teams that didn't play last year, so I can't actually even go back and look at video from them from last year to see maybe tendencies and things like that. So, at this point, we got to kind of just make sure that we're focused on the best version of us, like I said, and then also when we have opportunities to see people, we are kind of fortunate because we play early day 1 and then late the next 2 days, so we'll give us some opportunity to get a little bit more time to prepare, and that'll give Zach and I time to get out and see it, and then also break down some video for the kids.
See some of the other teams playing and so on. And that always interests me, though, that it seems like we always seem to have an early game the first game of the showcase, and it always strikes me odd that the teams that were playing in the championship wouldn't have a night game that first night, but that is what it is. Coach, that's about all I've got for you, I guess, here for our first Wings Weekly. I know you've got a lot of work to do, so I won't keep you here any longer, but I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us and to let people get to know you a little bit.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll return with our second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
Wings Weekly continues on, and normally in the second segment we would have a player, but in this case we've got assistant coach Zach Stepan, and wanted to get people a chance to get to know you a little bit. New to the team, obviously, but certainly not to the sport of hockey, and we'll run through that in just a moment. But first, I wanted to again let people, Wings fans, kind of get a chance to find out a little about you. Are you you're from Minnesota, right?
That's
Faribault?
correct, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, so Faribault is where I was in high school, where I went to high school.
Okay.
But I was originally born in Hastings.
Okay.
But I went to boarding school that's located in Faribault, but I bounced around a lot. So.
Shattuck St. Mary.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll get into the hockey career here in just a moment. But married, kids.
Me and my dog, as of right now.
Okay. What kind of dog?
He's half Shih Tzu, half Yorkie.
Nice.
He's just a little guy, about 6 pounds.
Okay. There you go, folks. Aberdeen Wings, most eligible bachelor, right there. All right. Shattuck St. Mary, Waterloo in the USHL. Would you score like 36 goals in Waterloo?
Be honest with you, I don't remember, but
It was a lot.
somewhere
A lot.
in there. Yeah, something like
It was
that.
a lot. Then on to the University of Minnesota Mankato, and then assistant coach with the Chippewa Steel, and then on to New Ulm, the New Ulm Steel. That's kind of your roadmap, I guess, to the Aberdeen Wings. But how did you, from your perspective, how did you get here? Did you find out about an opening and start, making some phone calls, or were you approached? How did that work?
Yeah, so I'm very, very fortunate and very lucky to be in this position. Couple of things, I guess, is I'm still very new to the coaching world. This is my 4th year in coaching. Obviously not new to the sport of hockey, like you said, but a little more on the newer coaching side.
Sure.
And luckily enough, I still have some friends down in Nashville, which is where Jennings was coaching prior to this. And I ended up, that's where I was drafted when I was in high school. And so I met a lot of people down there going through developmental camps and training camps, stuff like that. And, someone put in a good word, and Jennings said yes and gave me a call, and that's how the whole thing started. So
Excellent.
it was, I know the person that gave me the recommendation to Mr. Jennings, and I owe him a lot to have the opportunity to be here.
Excellent. I always ask this of players, but I'm going to ask you, what were your first impressions upon arriving in Aberdeen?
The city or
the
the
city.
rink?
Well, let's go both.
Okay,
First,
so-
let's say, what did you think of the city? I know I always tease guys, they come from bigger cities and so on, or we're very flat here. So when you're first pulling in, you're going, okay, is this, you know what I mean? Is this actual town? Or?
Right, yeah. No, I guess the biggest thing for me was coming in here, you don't know that there's 26,000 people or whatever it is here, which is my favorite part about it. So obviously you're able to get a lot of the support that I've heard nothing but great things about. But it has that small town feel with a big population, and everything's close. I hate big cities, to be completely honest with you. I've been in New York City way too many times and not a fan. And so this city is kind of right up my alley.
Perfect.
To be completely honest with you. And, and then I walk into the rink and it's surreal for me. It's the way everything's run, the way we get treated, the way the players get treated. It makes you want to go to the ends of the earth to give back, because we are treated so well, and you walk in and you're taken care of. And so like I said, I'm blessed and fortunate and excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, what is your day look like? I know that's been a little bit weird because of camp and 2-a-days and so on, but walk us through what some of your duties. Do you do a lot of breakdown of film, or are you more kind of hands-on with the players? It seems like the assistant coaches have different roles sometimes.
Yeah, so kind of what I've been focusing most of my time on is, yes, I break down film, which we've had not much, I guess, in the last couple of weeks, right? But I kind of break down film so that Steve can go through there and then pick what he wants out of the film that I've broken down. So, we have that, and then I'm running the guys through workouts for the year. And so I've reached out to some of my contacts. One of them is strength coach for the Philadelphia Flyers. It's helping me through some of the workout programs. So our guys are doing what the pros are doing, and that's what we kind of preach here, right? Is we want our guys to get to D1, and we want them to get to pro hockey. And to be able to do that, you got to train like you're in D1 hockey or pro hockey. So, so I did reach out to my contacts, got all that stuff taken care of, running the guys through workouts every morning, and then, and then the player relationship piece.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Coach Jennings' background, and he can be very intense when he needs to be, and that's the job of the head coach.
Yeah.
And then my job is to make sure that guys understand the behind-the-scenes piece of it. So we make a good team that way, and that's what's going to make us a good hockey team this year.
Excellent. Showcase coming up. I was just talking with Coach Jennings just a moment ago about preparing for 4 teams in 4 days and how difficult that can be versus how it'll look in the regular season when you have a team that you play twice Friday, over the course of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and you have all week to prepare for it. That's a whole different thing. And then like Coach Jennings mentioned, limited video on a lot of these teams too. So how does that change things up for you guys as a team?
There's a lot that goes into it this week, and you look at it and you say, yes, it's nice that Blaine's at the beginning of the year because there's not a lot of video. So you'd rather it be that than going into your standings, your Central Division standings, and have to be running through no film, right? But then the other piece of it is we also are going on to a bigger rink. And so that changes the dynamics of things, right? Because you're going to have more time and space, which can be a really good thing if you play the right way, or it can be a really, really bad thing if you don't play the right way. And so it'll be a good test for our guys that we have going to Blaine to see if they can just say, you want to what, we'll figure it out and go from here. Or if they're going to be like, well, here's an excuse, here's an excuse, here's an excuse, and then we know we got some things to fix. But I think it'll be a good test for our guys to just put their head down and go to work.
That's a very good point. An opportunity, because there are plenty of excuses and distractions and so on, but you want guys that aren't gonna come up with those or lean on those. So that's awesome. All right. Well, I won't keep you much longer. As I was just saying with Coach Jennings, I know that there's a lot to get ready for. I mean, as far as all of the logistics of travel and hotels and making sure equipment's packed. I mean, there's a lot going on for all the teams that are traveling over to the showcase. So again, I won't keep you much longer, but I sure appreciate you taking some time to talk to us and let the Wings fans know a little about you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm happy to be here, and if Wings fans, if you guys see me walking around, come up, say hi, because I want to get intertwined in this community as fast as possible, because that's what we're here to do. So.
Excellent. All right. Well, Coach Stepan, thank you so much. And that'll do it for this week's Wings Weekly.